Hello and welcome back to another episode of Review Your Death Clips. My name is Icon. I have played quite a bit of World of Warcraft Hardcore. I have leveled every class to level 60, did all of the content including killing KT on both sides. So let's jump right into it and see what kind of death clips we have today. Hello and welcome back. Let's take a look at today's death clips. First one comes from Stratholme. We are going with double warrior hunter mage. Interesting setup, and we're fighting Timmy. Alright, let's go. Paladin POV. Okay, let's see.
Holy! What?
Oh, that's Timmy. Timmy! Oh, it's still going, okay.
You have a shield?
Yes. What a stupid question that is.
Big damage on him.
I don't have,
Just back up, yeah, just kite.
I don't have potion anymore, so...
Just kite.
Line of sight.
Holy fuck,
You
dude.
fucking died, dude?
Alright, let's see what is going wrong. The UI is the standard UI, but it's hard to... Oh no, we can look into that. Okay, so Kevo Tank, they are going into Strat UD. Kevo Tank is rocking 3,860 hit points. That's a bit of a problem. He does have World Buffs Wound. He does have Kings and Mark of the Wild, but other than that, he's pretty much empty. Timmy is known to deal a lot of damage, and that means very, very serious heals. And matter of fact, the correct way of playing him is Paladin Hodge, so Hammer of Justice is Timmy at 50% before the real damage is starting. Timmy is also slowable, so you can kite him if need be, and you can also tank him off. Shield wall helps. Whatever could work. Not seeing the stance of Kevo Tank, I assume he's death stance, but you can. That's a good point. Like, he's 3.8k, takes one hit, 2.7k, and those numbers are really, really low. Like Key Presser, for instance, 2.9k hit points for Paladin. That is stretching it, my dude. So he's using Flash of Light. I think the Paladin is not necessarily at fault here. Has the right blessing on him. The tank just doesn't have a lot of hit points. So it takes a second hit. He's down to 2,000 at this point. Gets healed for crit, 3,000. So this is where it becomes interesting. Paladin decides, you know what? I can't really out heal this. Let's try to use a Holy Light. So that's a 3.5 seconds cast, and the question is, will he survive 3.5 seconds with 3,000 health? The answer is no. We know that now, but I was in Key Presser's situation, and when the tank is having such little hit point pool and is eating a high amount of damage, then there is, as a Paladin, there is no real win-win for you. He is Holy Spect. Let me see, does he have Holy Shock? Yes, Holy Shock is up. So see, that's maybe an execution issue here. So he could flash heal into Holy Shock and then do the Holy Light. That way you're at least starting with all of the 4,000 hit points. So we're looking at still 2,400 hit points, and then he gets clapped. Okay, so what could have happened here? Let's look at that again. It's not the healer's fault. He could have done it a little bit better, but it's not a major concern. So a couple of things happened here. Warster, which is the other warrior, hasn't even joined the fight. They clearly haven't taken that as serious as they should. Is running through one of the traps and is getting all of the plague insects in. And then this happens. Worcester comes in. Worcester hits from the back. Pet hits from the back. My original explanation was parry haste, which is a phenomena that happens when a enemy parries, and with the parry you trigger an automatic additional attack. So in that case, Kevo, if multiple people attack from the front, and if there is a parry spree from Timmy, he would get a lot of attacks in a short period of time. I find it surprising because I see that it is definitely a double hit. So for a short period of time there is 1,300 hit points, and then Kevo is just going down. So it is likely parry haste, but none of the other guys are at fault. So what is not working out very well? Timmy doesn't have demo shout. That's a problem. From the point of view, it's very hard for me to tell if Kevo is taking that serious. I'm not seeing if he is dual wielding. I don't see his stance, but he's taking a lot of damage even for Timmy's standards. So that's a bit of an issue. And then getting completely rickrolled like that, apparently everybody was surprised, and Worcester then afterwards quote unquote saved the day by tanking shield walling. That's the correct play. Everything after this point is good. So what can we learn from that? Sometimes let's go down that route, because I really can't see much from without the POV of the warrior. He likely has been in the wrong stance, and he likely has not used his skills properly. So that's that might be a given. But the reason why he died is parry heist in my perspective. Can we see target of target buffs? Now we don't see any time here, and it's also not flickering, so that's no last minute buffs are gone. We know that his kings is up for more than 2 minutes, so it's not a fading of buffs. It is really what boils down to what I would call greed. The guy's going in as a tank with 4k hit points into Strat life. Granted, that's not the most difficult instance, but it is very easy to die here. Has booned world buffs, which tells me that he would have way more power, but isn't equipped well enough to be that greedy. They did not get an hour worth of stamina buff beforehand, no stamina scroll as well, 0 other consumes on the guy, no elixir of fortitude, nothing. So basically he's quote unquote raw dogging it by going in with too limited hit point pool, and that overconfidence kills him. He even has devotion aura, which in this fight is the best that you could ask for. So even when dual wielding, there's effectively wielding kind of half of a shield. So even if he aggressively is tanking, this here should cover some of the damage. But the amount of damage that he has taken is actually quite high. No demo shout, no thunderclap on him, and you can see just how much rage spikes. That kind of tells you that he actually is taking a lot of damage. Went from 30 to 0. I assume blood rage, blood thirst used as a fury tank, but that's not good. And we're not seeing any thunders on Timmy as well, so he's not doing what he's supposed to do as the tank, and simply has underestimated it. So there's a bit of a knowledge gap. You could in the second phase hodge Timmy, but getting basically 50 to 0 in such a short amount of time is a tank problem, an equipment problem. It's as simple as that. Alright, second death comes from Johnny Isoni. And we're playing on a laptop.
Peeps are way rad, yo. Yeah, I'm here in Eastern, yo, what's up?
Has his chat apparently behind him. That looks like Eastern Plaguelands, the Korea.
Sneaky sent me. Nice.
Got the
Oh
best
no!
song.
Oh no! Oh my fucking god! I just died, yo! Oh my god! I lost my level 50 fucking 9. Oh no! I have to restart everything I did. I was having too much fun with my mom, and I'm checking the chat, everybody.
All right, this will be a shorter review. Let's maybe use that as an opportunity of talking about how to stay focused during World of Warcraft Hardcore. Again, I'm getting the question quite a lot of times, how do you manage to not die over a long period of time? So for starters, it boils down to dedication and being focused. If you really want to reach 60 and play the game on hardcore, you need to make sure that your surroundings are set for that. Johnny here has a couple of things going against him, and this is just, I'm not judging, I'm just telling you that all of the things that I'm seeing are negatively contributing to his performance. So number one, judging by his eyes, no shade or anything, he seems to be intoxicated. I wouldn't play if I was in that condition to begin with. Number two, his setup is far from optimal. Clearly he seems to be in a scenario, if he always plays like that, then kudos, but that setup is far from optimal. He has plugged his laptop in. I don't see any network cable, which usually is plugged in here, so I'm assuming he's using wireless LAN, which for hardcore World of Warcraft is a big red no-no. Then he is just playing on this mini screen without any mods. The Lenovo here looks a little bit older, so I can only assume that the performance on this is also not great. If that's the only thing that you can play on, great, but just know that that's likely going to negatively impact it. Then on top of it, he seems to have like a computer or a smartphone or whatever behind him where he can look at the chat. Completely unclear for me why he would position it behind him so that he needs to look away from the monitor. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of streamers that look to a second monitor and then kind of get railed in game. Same problem with YouTube. If you are running YouTube on the second monitor, that's just going to be a distraction. My philosophy behind it is either play the game because you want to play the game or don't do it. If you don't enjoy the leveling process, then it's potentially not a good idea to risk doing it over and over and over again by reducing your chances to survive. There are a couple of things that I can quote-unquote tolerate. If you do have music in the background or listen to a podcast, then yes, your sound cues will be lower and you might have a bit of divided attention, but your visual input is the most important part. And then let me address this here.
Everything I did. Lost my level 55. Oh my fucking god, I just died, yo. Oh my god, I lost.
Now, where's his
my
mom
level
coming in? I think
67.
she was coming in here.
No. Oh no.
For starters, a bit of a weird setup. I don't know the context, but his mom seems to wanting to go to bed. Not even sure if she knows that she's being filmed at that point. And maybe he's in a hotel. I really don't know. Anyways, like having family members, I'm asking the question, why wouldn't you spend, if you do have so much fun spending time with your mom, just don't play World of Warcraft during that time. Don't have family members immediately around or log out if you need to. Other than that, there is of course still knowledge gaps. The guy is standing right next to the patrolling route of the Crimson Courier patrol, which is, besides Duskwing, the main reason for why people die in Eastern Plaguelands. So, I mean, it starts with that, but I really wanted to use this as a bit of a framing around how your gaming setup should look like if you are dedicated and want to reach level 60 in hardcore. Alright, final death of today is coming from Blackrock Depth. We do have plain views. The warrior skipping 2 packs, interesting. that can easily social aggro.
What the dog doing?
I'm speechless.
There ain't no way. Hunter pets, man, what the fuck?
Alright. What was that? Damn Jesus. That just made me upset.
So mad. Like, just.
Alright, well, let's look at that. A lot going on here. So, next topic. I mean, this is actually a good episode to talk about all of the typical issues. This here boils down to don't skip packs in dungeons. Okay? Just don't do it. Typically, it is not worth it, and unless you do have a dedicated party that is all in Discord and people really know what they're doing, there's no reason to do that. So, they do have a mixed guild run. 2 warriors, mage, hunter, and a priest. It's actually not a bad group if you look at it. According to the buff timers, have spent some time here, didn't just come in, maybe have done some bar, etc, etc. And these packs here are easy. You can take this pack, then move into the next one. You can leave this one at the side, but skipping this for a pet class like a hunter is difficult. He would need to dismiss his pet, move through, and then resummon the pet. And if I learned anything about hunters, again, no shade on people, they have the lowest execution difficulty during the leveling process, so there's a good chance that the hunter really doesn't know very well what they're doing at this point. Clearly, someone has pulled enemies from the back. With a setup like this, double warrior, a simple call, Villian, you take these, I'll take the other ones, could have solved the whole situation and made it easier. He, as a tank, plain views, is moving over, taunts off, and then tries to pull these guys back. Doesn't appreciate that one of them is already at 19%, so he's going to start to run from 15%, I think, onwards, which pulling them through here, really not a good idea. You're seeing back tank, people are calling for it, whilst on the other end these two can pretty much be handled. So now the camera shifts away, but here is what happens. Hunter, so we have piercing howl on both of them for 4 more seconds. Hunter, I think, will multi-shot or continue to hit. Only one appears, which means the dreaded 15% threshold might have been hit. Hunter moved in. Hunter moved in with the others and pulled that pack on the left-hand side. Like I mentioned, also was clearly still attacking that 15% target, no concussive shot, nothing, still has the pet on it. Like I said, execution problem here. To be fair, in the defense of the hunter, if no one kills this target and that target runs, then this pack will be pulled anyways. So just blaming it, quote unquote, on the pet of the hunter is incorrect. What is correct in this situation is the hunter has not used any of his toolkit in order to kill that 15% enemy, but it is equally correct that the tank tried to pull them through a very narrow slope, not appreciating that guy was only at 15%. You can see it's now at 6%. Tank spends time insulting others, which is not helpful. So it again gets to show people are using their limited time and actions on the wrong things. And this guy is basically not fully self-reflected. Although the hunter messed up with continuing to damage it, his pathing was even bringing them into that situation. So we now have a desperate prayer from the healer, who is putting a last greater heal out. At this point, by the way, this here is trying to kind of kite with Piercing Howl. There is no problem for any of the warriors, specifically Villain, to just AoE Fear, and then they just dip. Sleep HC takes aggro with that greater heal, and the mage gets clapped shortly afterwards.
I'm speechless.
There ain't no way. Hunter pets, man, what the fuck?
I'm so mad. Like, just.
Okay, yeah. Listen, not great. The hunter clearly has a part of this to play, but it boils down to don't skip hacks. Make sure that specifically when enemies are running, that you do have a way of dealing with it. This would have been mage and hunter's job to do that. The hunter could have placed a frost trap down to make it safer, but with that limited room of maneuvering, you're putting yourself up in a much more difficult spot than it needs to be, and you're doing all of that for like what, 20 seconds of gain. In my perspective, not worth it, and the tank also has a responsibility to carry here. Alright, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. See you all next episode. Bye bye.